Stop scrolling, because what I'm about to say might completely change how you think about your body. If you're over 45 and you've ever wondered whether ejaculating every day is helping you, hurting you, draining you, protecting you, or quietly accelerating aging, you need to hear this. Not Reddit myths, not locker room talk, not shame-based nonsense, clinical reality. And some of it is going to surprise you. I'm Dr. Lina, board-certified physician with over 10 years of clinical experience. I've worked with thousands of men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, even into their 80s. And I can tell you this with certainty. The answer is not black and white. Some men become sharper, calmer, healthier. Others slowly lose energy, motivation, sensitivity, and confidence without realizing the pattern. Same behavior, different outcome. Why? That's what we're unpacking today. Before we go further, I want to know who's here. Comment below. Where are you watching from? How old are you? And have you ever seriously wondered whether daily ejaculation is affecting your energy, hormones, or performance? Be honest, because what we're about to discuss applies very differently at 42 versus 62. And here's the open loop I want you to hold in your mind. There is one specific mistake I see over and over again. Men think the issue is frequency. It's not. It's something deeper. And once you understand it, you'll never look at this topic the same way again. Let's start with what actually happens biologically. Because your body is not random. Every action triggers a cascade. Hormones, neurochemicals, circulatory shifts, nervous system responses. And if you're ejaculating every day, your body is responding every single day. The question is it adapting in your favor or against you? Let's break it down. Now we're going deeper, because this is where most online conversations fall apart. They either say, it's completely harmless, or it's draining your life force. Neither is medically accurate. What matters is physiology. Let's break this down clearly. Benefit number 1, prostate fluid turnover and long-term risk reduction. Biologically, here's what happens. The prostate produces fluid that becomes part of semen. That fluid contains enzymes, proteins, zinc, and protective compounds. When ejaculation occurs, the prostate contracts and empties part of that stored fluid. When ejaculation does not occur for long periods, fluid can remain stagnant. In some men, that stagnation may contribute to inflammation or discomfort. Now let's talk data. A large longitudinal study that followed nearly 32,000 men over 18 years found something interesting. Men who reported approximately 21 ejaculations per month had a lower incidence of prostate cancer compared to those reporting 4 to 7 per month. That's the number that shocks most of my patients. 21. But here's the nuance that headlines ignore. The study showed correlation, not causation. It didn't say daily is required. It didn't say more is always better. It suggested regular turnover may be protective. For men in their 40s and 50s, this can be reassuring. For men in their 60s and 70s, the protective effect still appears, but recovery and overall health status matter more. Practical takeaway. Regular, non-compulsive frequency may support prostate health, but health is systemic, not isolated. Benefit number 2. Nervous system reset and stress modulation. Biologically, ejaculation activates multiple neurochemicals. During arousal, dopamine rises. At climax, oxytocin increases. Afterward, prolactin rises. Cortisol drops. This combination shifts the body into parasympathetic dominance, the rest and digest state. For high-stress individuals, especially men balancing work, retirement transitions, caregiving, or financial anxiety, this can feel like relief. Blood pressure may drop temporarily. Muscle tension decreases. Sleep onset can improve. Emotionally, some men report, I finally relax. My mind quiets down. I sleep deeper. And in short-term scenarios, that's real. But here's the subtle line. If ejaculation becomes the only way your nervous system knows how to relax, you create dependency, which leads to the next layer. Benefit number 3, dopamine regulation when used wisely. Let's talk brain chemistry. Dopamine is not just pleasure. It's drive, ambition, motivation, goal pursuit. During arousal, dopamine surges. After ejaculation, dopamine drops sharply, while prolactin rises, signaling reward completion. In balanced frequency, this cycle can regulate impulsive urges and reduce anxiety. But here's what most people miss. The brain adapts. If dopamine spikes happen too frequently, especially with high-intensity artificial stimulation, receptors may downregulate, meaning you need more stimulus for the same effect. This isn't theory, it's basic neuroplasticity. For men over 50, dopamine sensitivity already shifts slightly with age. So the question isn't, is ejaculation good or bad? It's, how often am I flooding my reward system? Practical takeaway. Moderation preserves sensitivity. Excess can blunt drive. Not because ejaculation is evil, but because biology adapts. Benefit number 4. Vascular engagement and tissue oxygenation. Erectile function is vascular. Healthy erections require nitric oxide release, arterial dilation, and strong endothelial function. Regular erections increase localized blood flow. Blood flow brings oxygen. Oxygen maintains tissue elasticity. Elasticity preserves responsiveness. Men who experience long periods without erections, especially due to stress or inactivity, may see mild declines in tissue responsiveness. So yes, regular function may help maintain circulatory health locally. But here's the age-adjusted nuance. In your 40s, vascular flexibility is typically stronger. Recovery is faster. In your 50s, endothelial function may begin to decline if lifestyle factors aren't optimized. In your 60s plus, cardiovascular health becomes the dominant factor in erectile quality. Meaning, daily ejaculation won't compensate for poor blood sugar control, high blood pressure, or sedentary habits. The foundation is systemic. Now let's shift tone, because this is where most men get blindsided. If this is making sense so far, hit like right now. Because what we're about to cover is where things get serious. Hidden risk number 1, dopamine desensitization. Biological mechanism. Repeated high-frequency reward spikes reduce receptor sensitivity. Emotional effect. Reduced excitement, less anticipation, lower baseline motivation. Real-world impact. Work feels dull. Hobbies feel less engaging. Intimacy may feel less stimulating. This is subtle. It doesn't happen overnight. It's gradual. Correction strategy. Introduce recovery windows. Reduce artificial overstimulation. Engage in dopamine-building activities like exercise and goal achievement. Hidden risk number 2. Subtle energy drain in men 55 plus. Let's be realistic. After 40, testosterone declines approximately 1 to 2% per year. Mitochondrial efficiency shifts. Sleep becomes more fragile. Inflammation risk increases. Daily ejaculation requires sympathetic activation, muscle contraction, hormonal cycling. In optimal health, recovery is quick. In borderline metabolic health, which many men over 55 unknowingly have, recovery may lag. You may notice midday fatigue, brain fog, slight decrease in drive. Not catastrophic, but noticeable. Correction. Improve sleep first. Optimize protein intake. Strength train. Then reassess frequency. Hidden risk number 3. Conditioning performance patterns. Your nervous system learns patterns. If stimulation is fast, highly specific, high intensity, repetitive, your brain wires to that pattern. Partnered intimacy may not match that intensity. Result? Delayed response. Reduced sensitivity. Frustration. This is not permanent damage, it's conditioning. Correction strategy. Slow down stimulation patterns. Increase awareness. Train sensitivity, not speed. Hidden risk number 4. Emotional regulation dependence. Here's the uncomfortable one. Some men use ejaculation to regulate loneliness, stress, boredom, or avoidance. Short-term relief, long-term avoidance. Biologically, oxytocin release creates warmth and comfort. Psychologically, it feels soothing. But if it replaces connection, movement, or communication, deeper needs remain unmet. That gap can grow. Correction. Ask yourself before acting, am I choosing this consciously? Or am I escaping something? Hidden risk number 5, relationship disconnect. If frequency shifts away from shared intimacy, partners may perceive withdrawal, even if unintentional. Emotional closeness is built through shared vulnerability, not isolated reward loops. For married or long-term partnered men, this matters more than hormone numbers, because vitality is relational as well as biological. So where does that leave us? Daily ejaculation is not automatically harmful. It's not automatically beneficial. It's adaptive. Your body responds to frequency, intensity, context, recovery, emotional state, overall health. And the magic number? It's not universal. In your 40s, you may tolerate higher frequency without issue. In your 50s, energy tracking becomes important. In your 60s and beyond, recovery quality often matters more than frequency quantity. But remember this, the body whispers before it shouts. Energy changes, mood shifts, sensitivity changes. The men who thrive long-term are the ones who listen early. Now let's close the loop, because the real answer isn't about counting days, it's about understanding adaptation. Let's close the loop, because if you only remember one thing from this entire conversation, it should be this. It's not about frequency, it's about awareness. That's the mistake I see over and over again in men 45, 55, 65, even 75. They obsess over numbers. Is daily too much? Is twice a week optimal? Is abstinence better? They're asking the wrong question. The real question is, how is your body responding? Your body is not a moral system. It's a feedback system. If you feel energized, clear-headed, motivated, connected, your rhythm is probably aligned. If you feel drained, foggy, irritable, disconnected, something needs adjusting. Not eliminating, adjusting. Here's the core principle. Your nervous system thrives on rhythm, recovery, and intention, not compulsion, not guilt, not extremes. Now let's make this practical, because information without action changes nothing. The 4-step vitality protocol. Step 1. Track before you change anything. Most men guess. Guessing leads to anxiety. Instead, gather data. For the next 14 days, write down morning energy, scale 1 to 10, mood stability, libido level, sleep quality, motivation to exercise or engage socially. Don't change frequency yet. Just observe. Patterns will reveal themselves. You may notice higher energy on certain days, lower clarity after consecutive days, no change at all. Data removes fear, and fear is often worse than reality. Step 2. Adjust frequency strategically. Now experiment intelligently. If you're ejaculating daily and feel great, stable energy, strong motivation, good sleep, there may be no issue. But if you notice subtle fatigue, try spacing. For example, instead of 7 consecutive days, shift to 3 to 4 times per week. Or try a 3-day reset and monitor how you feel. In some men, short abstinence increases mental sharpness temporarily. In others, it increases irritability. There is no universal prescription. There is only responsiveness. This is especially important after 50. Because testosterone decline, approximately 1 to 2% per year after 40, changes recovery dynamics. Circulatory efficiency shifts. Sleep becomes more sensitive. Stress tolerance narrows. Recovery matters more than ever. Step 3. Remove emotional dependency. Now we address the deeper layer. Ask yourself honestly, is this a choice or a reflex? If you're using ejaculation as your primary stress management tool, your nervous system becomes conditioned. That doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. But it does limit resilience. Build alternative regulation methods. Resistance training increases testosterone sensitivity. Walking improves endothelial function. Breathwork reduces cortisol. Social connection increases oxytocin naturally. When ejaculation is one tool, not the only tool, balance returns. That's when vitality stabilizes. Step 4. Know when to seek medical evaluation. Here's where I become very direct. If you experience persistent fatigue, loss of libido, difficulty maintaining erections, mood instability, loss of morning erections, reduced muscle mass, increased abdominal fat. Do not blame frequency alone. Get evaluated. Check. Total testosterone, free testosterone, SHBG, thyroid panel, A1C and fasting glucose, lipid profile, blood pressure. Because many men blame ejaculation for symptoms that are actually metabolic or hormonal, and missing that diagnosis delays recovery. Your body is signaling. Listen to it. Now let me tell you about Mark. Mark was 62, retired engineer, married for 35 years, 2 grown children. He came into my office frustrated. He had read online that daily ejaculation was draining his testosterone. He was convinced he had damaged himself. He felt lower energy, reduced motivation, less excitement, mild performance changes. He had stopped exercising. Sleep was fragmented. Diet was inconsistent. But he focused on one thing: frequency. We ran labs. His testosterone was mildly low, consistent with age. His blood sugar was elevated. He had gained 18 pounds in 5 years. Sleep apnea symptoms were present. The issue wasn't ejaculation. It was systemic health. We made small changes: strength training 3 times per week, improved protein intake, better sleep hygiene, reduced high-intensity artificial stimulation, adjusted frequency to 3 to 4 times per week instead of daily. Nothing extreme. 30 days later, morning erections returned, energy improved, mood stabilized, confidence increased. But here's what moved him most. He told me, "I don't feel broken anymore." That's the transformation. Not abstinence, not excess. Awareness. Listen carefully. Aging is not decline, it is adaptation. Your hormones adapt, your circulation adapts, your nervous system adapts. The men who thrive in their 60s and 70s are not the ones who eliminate pleasure. They are the ones who understand rhythm. They respect recovery. They optimize health markers. They remove shame from biology. And they stay engaged with life. Because vitality isn't about how often you ejaculate. It's about how strong, connected, and energized you feel. You can be 70 and vibrant. You can be 50 and exhausted. The difference is alignment. So here's what I want you to do right now. Comment your age below. Tell me one insight that surprised you. Was it the prostate data? The dopamine adaptation? The recovery principle? Like this video if it gave you clarity instead of fear. Subscribe if you want evidence-based, medically grounded conversations about aging well. And share this with someone who's quietly worrying about this topic but doesn't want to ask. Because silence creates confusion. Understanding creates confidence. And I'll leave you with this. Your body is not broken. It's responding to inputs. Learn how to respond back.